Eli Roth once said that the problem with horror fans is they demand something new, and then when something new is made, they go on the internet and they trash it immediately. And they say it sucks, and they haven't seen it, and it's going to be terrible, but they'll go see it. And this is why we have endless remakes and rehashes and regurgitation. Okay? So why we are here is to get the word out. And I'm going to be handing this panel over soon to Mr. Finkelstein, and I'd like to bring our celebrity panel up so you can talk to them and ask them questions, and we can tell you how this project came about. But the important thing is to understand that this movie is not just a phone-in job. We have made something that is a cultural timepiece. And to me, that's extremely important because I'm not sticking my name on something that's bad. And most of all, I don't want to lose the respect of the people that came to work on this. So it would be good if the movie is good. And by the way, I saw the first hour of it with sound, music, and most of the effects laid in. And I contacted Rick immediately after I left Philadelphia and said, we have a winner. So I will now turn it over to Rick, and if you folks would please.
Everyone and have them.
Sure, okay. I was going to have you do that, but sure. First of all, we have our producer, Rick Finkelstein of Entertainment Factory, and Stephen Chase of Entertainment Factory. Take the stage. We also have, I'm seeing her right up front here, the lovely Dee Wallace. Okay. Is Barbara here? We have the lovely Barbara Crampton. Here she comes. We have Lindsay Hartley, who, by the way, is one of our evils. And we have Vernon Wells, who is also another evil of the 5 evils. Birch, as well, too, is one of our sinister doctors in the film. So, Rick, I'm going to have you kind of take it over and tell them how this all came to you and how you brought the project to fruition.
Hello. Okay, I'm Rick Finkelstein. We were filming a movie called How Sweet It Is, and Steve, my partner, was in one of the scenes, and it was with Joe Piscopo. And Joe Piscopo's agent, Michael Eisenstadt, who also represents other people up here, I believe. I still have nightmares about that, but anyways. And his partner was Gunnar Hansen, and they had a movie, and it was called Death House. And they were working on it for about 4 or 5 years. And people wanted to be attached to it. It was the first movie that was ever given to us that came with letters of intent, and people really said they'd be in the movie. And we worked on it, and we hit, brick wall after brick wall, worked with Gunnar. And about 3 or 4 months before we started filming, I got a call on Friday night at around 11:30 at night, and it was Mike Eisenstadt, and he said something's wrong. So I automatically thought that we lost the rights, we weren't allowed to make it. I never once thought that someone was sick. And he told me that Gunnar had pancreatic cancer, and that Gunnar wanted to talk to me, but he couldn't speak, and he had to write the words down, and his partner Betty would read them to me. And his wishes were that we make this movie. And he knew that Steve and I would be presented with times where people would say, that we were being a vulture or we were capitalizing on his death. And Gunnar's final wishes included if we had to show it on his gravesite to do it, just to get this movie made and let everybody know. And so I told him that I was good with all that. I talked to Steve, and we were great. We were going to write him a letter on Monday and tell him what it was like for him being a part of our life. And the next night, about 10:30, I got a call of Gunnar taking his last breath. And it was almost like, excuse me, it was almost like he was waiting for it to be okay with everyone in the cast to get this movie done before he would let go and go on. And so, Steve and I worked with Harrison. Harrison came aboard about a year ago, maybe a little more. So we had 2.5 years of the bumpiest movie roller coaster you can imagine. We got Harrison, and not that it smoothed out, it was just a different track. But we got it all made, and Harrison, I'd like you to ask questions, or everybody wants to say anything.
Sure. Does anybody have any questions for the cast up here? Anything about the film or their projects, what they have coming up?
Come on, you guys, you know you do.
So is they talk about a second one already?
Oh, give me that mic. There will be 5 more. And if you hear rumors about something unofficial, I'm not saying it will or will not be made, but there are people on that stage that will or will not be in it.
Well, fuck you too.
We have contracts.
We are lucky to have all these folks in it, and you did notice, we mentioned the five evils, but we don't see them, okay? And the reason why is we are kind of holding them back for another trailer. As we get closer to release, then we'll be showing more, but we haven't given away all the secrets in the film. What I like about the film is that we also examine, the true issues of what is good and what is evil, and can you eradicate evil? And as you heard Dee say in the film, our goal is to eradicate evil. Well, even evil is threatened by this. And that's what's really cool in the ending of this film when the five evils are revealed.
Yeah, I have to say that's why I took the film originally, other than I'd worked with Harrison and Levin. But the script was so different. It's really one of probably the only unique horror films I've read or been offered in a long time. There's a lot of statements about so many things in it that are important to me, and a whole new take on evil that I don't think it's ever been done on film.
Let's find out.
Yet. Come on, guys, come on. There you go.
So, is this planning to be a theatrical release? And to your opening remarks, how are you going to release it and not have it be PG-13?
Trust me, this will not be PG-13.
Not a frickin' chance!
What I'm saying is
Yeah.
if it's rated R, it may not get as wide a distribution.
Oh, I think in the horror world, if it's rated R, everybody wants to go see it. That's my take on it.
The nice part is we brought fun back to horror again. I think horror has also become pretty nihilistic in the last couple years. And this is like I describe this as a roller coaster ride through the funhouse, is what it is. This is not satire. We're not sending anything up. There's no spoof. This isn't Scary Movie. Okay, this is a straight up horror film with practical effects. We do have CGI, but most of the CGI, as you saw there, is to create a virtual world. We had one comment online that somebody said, "Oh, those backgrounds, they look cheap." Well, yeah, they are. They're supposed to be. It's, I saw static. Somebody wrote, I saw static going over. And this is what we're up against. Okay, yeah, you're supposed to. The prisoners are kept in virtual cells. So.
And as far as the release, we're looking for a major. I don't need one of these. We're looking for a major. We're talking 2,500 screens, 50 countries. We're not looking at a couple of theaters in Jersey or something like that. Big.
What's the date?
If I had that crystal ball, it will be ready. And when I say ready, the movie will be done, and they'll have enough time, if they wanted to create their marketing material to have a Christmas release. Whether they'll move that quickly or not, that remains to be seen. It all depends on if they see as many dollar signs as we can see. And if they do, then it'll be out Christmas time. If not, it should be right after the first of the year.
I guess this question is more for the actors. In terms of the evil, because the script was specifically dealing with evil, how did you mentally prepare psychologically for the roles?
What a good question. This was, for me, one of the hardest roles I've ever had to play. Now, I know anybody here knows the body of my work, and my work's always very heart-centered. And it was a real challenge to me to absolutely close down my heart to play this part. I had to close everything off. She, in effect, is a female Hitler. And it was a journey for me. We shot in, what's the name of that god-awful place? Holmesburg Prison. OMG. I don't even know how to describe it. You walk in and you can feel how horrible the energy is. Brilliant for the shoot, brilliant for the look of the film, but really hard to shoot in. Yeah. So that would be my end.
Yeah, that's great. For me, I also think that not a lot of people who are evil think that they're evil, right? I mean, everybody can justify the reasonings to why they do things, and so that's what some of the evil people in the movie do, you know, and you know, I'm potentially one of those people.
Potentially.
Well, I don't think that I am. I think I'm doing good, but
Yeah, but she is.
yeah, but when you watch the movie, you'll see that, you know, hopefully we feel like we can justify our actions, but I think it really shines a light on the people in society who think that they're doing good for society and they're really not. So,
Hitler
you know,
thought that.
it's a wake-up movie. It's like a wake-up movie.
Hitler thought that.
Yeah.
I won't get into politics.
I want to add,
Right.
I want to add also to that, like even if on screen and in the script it's all evil and mostly dark and some blood and very intense, but the actual set behind the scenes was one of the most comfortable, most friendliest set I've ever been
Oh,
on.
yeah.
With all these people, you would think you have some egos here and the people stay in the trailers there, the rooms there, but now it was like one huge, big group, family. Everybody was a family.
Yeah.
And everybody was so friendly and you know, loving, and it was just peace and love, and then, okay, action, and everybody, you know, it's completely different. But
Everybody was heard and respected, and you know, you run every set you do like that, Harrison. So.
I don't give a fuck. I just went the way I am.
Well, that is so not who you are. Teddy bear Vernon.
I enjoyed it because it was interesting. I'm not telling you anything about my character. It was just very interesting for me. The only thing that pissed me off was I had to walk to my car every night. They kept parking at like 3 blocks away. It was like, guys, could you just park it at my house? I'll walk home. But apart from that, the whole thing was wonderful. The producers were great. Harrison was wonderful. He put up with a lot of grief from me when I couldn't remember 3 words.
It's not grief.
That's not what you said.
I trained him to get ready for you, believe me.
But this movie, seriously, I knew Gunnar very well. I know probably 99% of the people in this movie. I've either worked with them or I've been around them. They are the elite of our world that we possess when we do these movies. They are the creme de la creme, and when you get all of them in the same room doing the same thing, it is a school in how to be fucking amazing. So when this comes out, you're going to have your socks knocked off because you have the best of the best in this film, and it's never been done before. So get off your asses and come and see it.
How can you not say anything to that, Lindsay?
I'm new to this genre, like Harrison said.
God bless you, my child.
And yes, the set was, and I've been telling everybody, the nicest, kindest set I've ever experienced. Like really, everyone was hugging each other all the time and just so nice in between, you know, the blood and the gore and dealing with all that stuff. It was quite interesting for me to see. And as far as playing an evil character, and listening to what you were saying, it's easier, Dee, when you were saying it was hard for you, it was a struggle for you to kind of not use your heart. I didn't have that conflict because I was like all the way on this side, you know? So it was what I was. So I actually really, it was fun. I had a great time so, playing in the blood.
You guys must have some questions. Come on.
What are some of the most fun and crazy experiences you had while shooting the movie?
The movie itself. Are we allowed to talk about some of the shit that happened?
Sure. Yeah.
There was one scene in which, I don't want to give too much away, but I get a bullet through my head, and they didn't want to get blood on the wall, so they had 2 guys holding a very large tarp. And they had overestimated the amount of pressure they would need to have this blood come spurting out of my head. And after the first take, everybody went into fits because there was this huge tub covered in blood. The only thing of the two guys you could see were their eyes. They were totally covered in blood, and the whole wall behind them was covered in blood. The only part that wasn't was where the outline of the tub, and it was just wonderful.
I think mine would be trying to hang on to the dead bodies in midair. And first of all, it was in the script that I was supposed to fall, so I just thought I was supposed to fall, and then I fell, and they went, "Oh my God, dear, you're all right. You weren't supposed to fall," you know. But these bodies were so lifelike, but yet they were so fragile, right? So we had to look like we were hanging on to the bodies while we were really hanging on to a lot of the things that were holding the bodies up. And then propelling ourselves off the bodies. It was challenging. It was, but scary. It's scary, isn't it? When you see it, it's really scary.
One of the moments for me in Los Angeles, I got to walk onto the set, and Kane Hodder, Bill Moseley, and Michael Berryman were all standing together on set, and they suddenly all did the Three Stooges hello. They just went, hello, hello, hello. And I was watching this, and I said to the assistant director, I said, we're seeing something pretty cool here. And we have that on video. Like, we caught that. And I'm glad that we have it, because it's just important stuff. So that was a fun thing that I remembered seeing.
Well, you know, every day was fun coming to work, I think. And I've known Kane Hodder for probably 35 years. He was the stunt coordinator on Days of Our Lives many years ago.
God, I did.
Right? Yeah, and that was my first job in Hollywood. I worked on that show. And so I worked with him, and then, you know, it's very rare that people in soap operas, but maybe not so rare now, go into horror movies. And, you know, Kane's done an amazing job, and I've, you know, watched him grow over the years. And for him to have such an amazing part in this movie and really, you know, just do so well, it's gratifying for me as a fan of the genre, because I'm a fan of the genre as well, and also to work with so many people that I've grown up watching, you know, not the least of which is you, Dee. You know, Cujo is one of my favorite all-time movies, and your performance in that just
She was robbed of an Oscar nomination. I was
just fantastic. And so I was able to do scenes with Kane. I did scenes with Kane, and you know, it was just fun after 35 years of knowing somebody to actually work with them, and it did feel, you know, very familial, and I really enjoyed that aspect of it. And I also had been with the project for kind of a long time, because Mike Eisenstat is my agent, and Gunnar was his client too, and I was friends with Gunnar for years. And I was one of the first people that Mike said, oh, I want to make this movie, and Gunnar's going to write the outline, and we're going to see how, you know, much we can go forward. We want to get a lot of horror movie actors in it. My agent is a fan of horror movies, and he has a lot of clients who are horror movie actors. Dee is a client there, and Bill Moseley is a client, and so a lot of his clients are in the movie because he loves the horror genre. So this whole movie was born of real love, you know, Gunnar's love and Mike Eisenstat's love and all of our love for the genre. And Harrison has put like his blood, sweat, and tears into this movie from the very beginning, and championing it and championing us. And so it's really gratifying for all of us to be in it. And I do want to say one cool thing though about being on the set with Dee. You know, to act with Dee was just, you know, like a really kind of a dream come true for me too. I know she always says that, but she's like royalty to me.
We had a thing on.
We had a thing, so it was really cool because we
I
had
like to watch the film to see the thing.
we had the same idea about our characters.
We did. We hadn't talked about it at all.
And I was kind of nervous to say that to her, but you know, I started talking about it. I was like, well, I don't know. I was kind of thinking that maybe something about our characters is true, and she's like, oh my God, I was thinking the same thing. And anyway, I won't tell you what it is, but maybe you can guess. I don't know.
Probably they're there already.
It's gonna be a tough
Dirty
guess.
minds that they are. There was somebody had a question.
And the movies, not just this one, but any ones you guys have done, has there ever been any like psychological after effects that you guys couldn't get over? Maybe therapy or something that you couldn't detach yourself from as the actor itself?
No, not for me. Physical. After Cujo, I'm still on adrenal supplements. After Cujo, because I just, your adrenals are fight or flight, right? The whole movie was fight or flight. And your body physically does not understand that you're acting. Your body goes through every chemical change and reaction that you would normally in a real life situation. So they treated me for exhaustion after that for 3 weeks, and I'm still on adrenals. Whenever I get under a lot of stress, my adrenals go, oh, it's Cujo again. Did somebody else have?
Yeah.
I can answer that question first. I wanted to say something about the fun on set, but I also had some experience after the movie. I did actually Sucker the Vampire. I played the vampire that got AIDS, which is a weird little twist. But after that, I was actually throwing up for 2 months straight, and I couldn't really get out of it for a while. So I got really deep into that hole, apparently. But on set, first of all, the fun on set for me was just to be in it. I'm extremely grateful and thankful to be in it. I know most of the people in it, and it was just it was just amazing to be part of it. But on set, otherwise, there was I think it was the last scene we had is the group of the sinister doctors. We had all group of us there with like almost like 100 patients on set as well that day, and it was all green screen, and we all huddled together in the middle, and we're doing this last scene, and we did it a few times, and Harry's like action, and then cut, and then changed it around, and then the last time the last take we took, we just started, and we were so into it. So I think almost all of us forgot that we were filming. We were just kept doing, and he just kept rolling it. And cut never came, but we didn't even realize that he never said cut. We just kept going, and I'm like, what's going on? And then he finally said cut. Oh, we're shooting a movie. So that was a very fun experience, because that's how involved we got in this story. And I think one of those things is my hat down to Harrison as a director. He's just an amazingly easy director to work with. He lets you go beyond, and he lets you be creative in your own mind, as long as you stay within the perimeters of the blueprint. I think, thank you. He's,
thank you from all of us for
fantastic director, awesome experience.
Well, let's see the final film and.
There was a question back there.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's an absolutely fantastic cast. I kind of hope Lloyd Kaufman's the one who survives the end.
Lloyd is great, and I'm not going to tell you whether he lives or dies. However, Lloyd is one of the last also of that type of filmmaker. Lloyd has given breaks to a lot of people and recommended people on other projects like Roger Corman has done, and it was important for me to have Lloyd in it for what he's done for the industry and for the genre.
So I agree, it's fantastic to see him. Is there any iconic actor or figure that you were not able to secure for the film that you would like to have had?
Well, sure. I mean, some were busy, scheduling conflicts. That was the biggest thing. I mean,
some were full of shit.
We had scheduling conflicts. I mean, there were some that were like, I would have loved to have done this, but I'm shooting this or I'm doing that. So, it all fell together very quickly. So one who was very cordial was Bruce Campbell. He was very nice, and he's shooting Ash vs. the Evil Dead. So, but he went as far as to say, "Look, I'm sorry, I can't do this," but highly recommended us to his film festival. He wanted us to premiere there, but the film wouldn't be ready in time. But very generous man and very nice.
And remember, there's 5 more, so there'll be room for everyone.
Can we possibly end with one clip? Okay. And well, first we have one short one. If we can show clip 1, and you can let's stay up here.
Well, we want to see the
Oh,
clip.
okay. Well, there's one.
It's going to be in the TV.
This, and again, I'm emphasizing all these clips are incomplete. You'll see it says incomplete footage, but let's take a look.
Follow the yellow line. Do not deviate.
sitting and wondering right up until you fired the shot at you.
Follow the yellow line. Do not deviate.
Blake healed nicely, don't you think?
Follow the yellow line. Do not deviate.
There's no woman here to warm your bed, Sieg.
Follow the yellow line. Do not
I
deviate.
will fuck you in hell.
Follow the yellow line. Do not deviate.
That's incomplete, obviously. Not color corrected. However, hopefully those of you who are fans of the genre will recognize that voice. That is Adrienne Barbeau. And she's doing a direct reference to Escape from New York with the follow the yellow line, do not deviate. If you remember when Kurt Russell was brought into intake, they say that. So there are all kinds of Easter eggs in this film. We have references to Cujo, we have references to Frankenstein, we have the entire horror history. There's so many Easter eggs in this. We'll do one more clip if we can. Let's do clip number, I just wanted to take a look to see. Do we have to do? Yep. And if you can just see something real quick. So yeah. Can you click on just so I can see a screenshot? Yes, that one, please. And this, again, it's incomplete. This talks about what Dee and Barbara were speaking about, which is the center of Death House. Go ahead.
I love being an avatar. One of the perks of the job. You will be conditioned, mind erased, reformatted with proper morals, compassion, and obedience for the law. You will become transhuman, better than human, once the physical conditioning is completed, or as you put it, the laundry.
What's the difference between transhumanism and brainwashing?
Well, it's a different process entirely. And we don't have an agenda. We instill morality.
Morality. Principles concerning the distinction between good or bad and right and wrong. Whose morality? I mean, I slit some fucker's throat. Am I a candidate for transhumanism?
Well, what about me? I killed a man for revenge. I executed a mother and her son in the line of duty.
The agent who brought Sieg to us. She did the good thing. Don't let these experiments confuse you or make you feel otherwise. We're excising a moral cancer. Did Sieg ever mention Death House to you? Ever any talk of the 5 evils?
And one last clip, clip 6. That should do it.
You guys didn't plan on anything like this happening?
Agent Novak. In 1997, the military built a stealth bomber for $2 billion that couldn't fly in the rain. This facility was a record $3.2 billion and cost $5 million a year to maintain. So yes, we have a few flaws.
This place has to be like NORAD. So far down that an external EMP hit wouldn't do anything. Shielded.
Well, apparently, no one thought of an interior attack.
What's the exit strategy?
Well, we have an hour of battery with generator backup, but we're not moving, and I don't hear the generators, so.
Why isn't the elevator on backup?
In a situation like this, all the focus is on containment. If we lose all the power, the shields go down, the gas stops, and everyone comes out of their fog.
Well, then there should be a kill switch. I mean, you've got gas flowing everywhere. Don't you have something special lined up to kill everybody inside this fucking hellhole in case there's a doomsday scenario?
We have one, but we're pretty insulated in here for right now. They'll be looking for an escape, not for us.
The ones below are gonna decide that this shaft is a shortcut to the top.
What about the 5 evils?
There you go. We'll leave you with that. I'd like to thank everybody who came here. Steve, Lindsay, Vernon, Jan, Barbara, Dee, Rick. Thank you, everyone, for coming. And most of all, thank you for being fans of the genre. Stop by their tables, thank them for all they've done.